Are you pretending to be someone you're not just in order to fit in? Are you still involved in a community that is no longer in alignment with your soul? Are you putting on a persona just so people will validate you or like you, or just so that you won't be rejected? When we go through awakening, we tend to latch on for dear life to our old experiences, our old environments, the people and situations that we were once accustomed to. But when we awaken, we start to feel uneasy and uncomfortable in the places we once felt comfortable. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. This is the thing. We become codependent on people and environments, especially when we're vulnerable. And a lot of the times before we go through a massive spiritual awakening, our whole life goes to shit. Everything gets blown up. Our job, our relationships, whatever it is, some kind of breakdown happens. And this will re-trigger our abandonment and our rejection wound from childhood. So therefore will make us more vulnerable. And then we tend to latch on to maybe unhealthy situations, substances, addictions, or people in order to feel safe and secure again. But we don't see the red flags. And this is the thing. We end up attaching to people that aren't good for us because we're still in such a low vibrational energy and a vulnerable state from our previous heartbreak. So we end up in environments that aren't really good for us, but we don't really see the red flags until we start evolving, until we start becoming our true selves. Then we start to look around and we're like, oh, this doesn't feel comfortable anymore. This doesn't feel very good for my soul. And I'll describe it like, I had to walk away from a massive group of friends back in 2021. They were my soul family. I thought they'd be in my life forever. So to actually, and this is the thing, to feel, I felt whole around them. They brought me to life. They helped me through, everything. They helped me to become a better version of myself. And being around them made me feel alive. But as I started to evolve, I started to feel out of alignment. I was one of the life of the party. I was drinking. I was, this is what we did. And, out of everyone in the group, I was probably the last one that anyone would expect to stop drinking. But as I started to heal and started to grow, where I once felt like this is my people, this is my crew, I started to feel uneasy. I started to feel like I didn't belong. And, I remember the last time I ever saw these people, I knew even before I went to the last event that was going to be the last time. And my whole body, my whole soul did not want to be there. I was going to cancel and everything, but I said, no, I'm going to go. I had tummy issues. I got a headache afterwards. It was my body literally and my soul screaming at me, this is not for you anymore. And that's nothing to do with, those people. They didn't do anything wrong. They just did not align with who I was anymore, my true self. And, a lot of the times we can latch on for longer than we should. And that's why my body started to react, is because I did latch on for longer than I should have. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to be aware of. How are you feeling around the people that once made you feel comfortable? Are you starting to see negative, maybe even toxic traits in these people? Are you starting to feel dis-ease around them? Is your body reacting? Are you starting to feel uncomfortable? And I believe this is a lot harder for men when they're going through spiritual awakening, because us women, we have this kind of bitchiness radar. I don't know what it is, because I suppose in the past, we had our defenses up, but we can tell. And before I was healed, don't get me wrong, I couldn't tell if somebody was narcissistic. I couldn't tell if somebody was bad because I was too trusting. But as I've healed, I can tell now who's negative, who's positive, who I want in my circle, who makes me feel okay and who makes me feel uncomfortable. So we kind of, us women, we kind of know when to walk away. We listen to our bodies. We know in our heart and souls if somebody's, not got good intentions, if somebody's being bitter, if somebody's bad mouthing us. We can tell. We don't need to actually see it. We can tell what's under the surface. And that's the main reason I walked away from my group of friends, was because it was under the surface that I could feel this negative energy coming towards me. So with us ladies, we're I suppose because we were witches in past lives and stuff like that, it's easier for us to break away. We're used to that isolation. We're used to having to be strong alone. But whatever it is with men and fitting in, it's that toxic masculine macho shit. It's like, if I don't behave like they do, they're not gonna fucking accept me. Do you know, if I turn soft or spiritual, they're not gonna accept me. So you put on this persona, you put on this mask just to fit into that fucking environment. And that's not good, because like this analogy of, if you put a good apple into a bowl of bad apples, that apple is going to go bad. And you know, as you're evolving, you're getting stronger and stronger. But if you don't leave that bowl, you're going to turn into an asshole as well. That's what you get. You put a good apple into a bowl of bad apples and you get a bowl full of fucking assholes. And this is it, like, you know what I mean? You have to be so mindful of what you allow into your energy. And this is it, like, great. I had to walk away from friends in 2021. I had to walk away from family in 2023. I was effectively left completely alone. And yes, I was angry, I was bitter, I was sad, I was upset. And I was like, why is the universe doing this to me? But now I understand. We can't become the best and truest version of ourselves if we're getting these 3D seeds of doubt, this negative matrix energy coming in, this toxic energy coming in, trying to pull us back down. Trying to pull us back down into that negative reality. We need to be strong and listen to our souls. And if that means being isolated on your journey, then do that. You know, I've had no external chatter for over a year because I'm mindful of who I let into my environment, and I'm mindful of what I say to anyone, you know, because not everyone is rooting for you. And you have to be careful with what you tell people because they're not always on your fucking side. So that's why I feel so blessed to have been isolated for the last year and a half, is because I get to choose my decisions and not be influenced by external opinions. I get to choose the path for myself, and I get to choose the path of alignment with my soul. The purest path I've ever been on. And you know, I know from experience in the past, being around toxic people in toxic energies, you take on that energy. And if you're in that environment long enough, you become toxic and bitter because your body and your soul are screaming at you to get the fuck out. You're not listening. You're getting more and more agitated and uncomfortable. This will lead to inner resentment. And you will actually turn into that narcissist, or you will turn into that toxic person because of your disalignment. You know what I mean? Is it really worth it to be accepted by not so good people just so that you feel validated? And that's the thing, like, you need to validate yourself first, and you're never going to validate yourself first if you're not authentic. If you're continuously trying to be something you're not to fit into a crowd that is not for you anymore, you're never going to feel validated within yourself. Because how can you validate yourself if you're not yourself? If you're fake, if you're putting on a mask, if you're not owning your truth, how can you accept yourself? And you know, how do you expect other people to accept you anyway? And that's the thing, you're putting on this persona to fit into a group that you feel that you want to be accepted by. But take a step back. Look at these people. Do you really want to be validated by these kind of people? You don't. The only person that you should seek validation from is yourself. And if you're not living in your true authenticity, how are you ever going to love and appreciate yourself? Take off that mask. You know, we're so afraid to be open spiritually, or to speak our truth, or to be sensitive or emotional because of what others will think or say. They're not going to think I'm manly enough if I don't, follow their toxic masculine rules. Do you know what I mean? And I go back to being the masculine side again because it's harder for men. I really think it is harder for men to break away from that fucking patriarchal system because they are part of the patriarchy in a sense, or, they're not, but they're men. And it's harder for men to express emotions. It's harder for men to be real because, oh geez, you're very soft, you can't do that, and it's like this fucking toxic masculine behavior of like, don't be sensitive, don't be nice, we don't have feelings, we build fire. So therefore, we have to treat everyone and everything like we're fucking strong men and we don't fucking cry. That's not strength. Vulnerability is strength. Being real is strength. Being fake is not strength. That is cowardly. You get me? And I'm not trying to be a bitch here or anything, but we're thinking that, oh, we put on this persona, we put on this mask, we put on this, and we're going to be accepted. We're going to fit into this world. Do you really want to fit into this false, negative, toxic world that you're still trying to fit into? Or do you want to listen to your truth and follow your path? That path might be isolating for a time, but it will actually bring you back into to people who are in alignment with you. And that's the thing, for a long time, the universe has been telling me, once you do this work, once you break away from the toxic people, once you make these hard decisions, your soul tribe will come in. And, I believe that, but I didn't start to see evidence of it till very lately. And, it's nice to actually see proof, because it is a long journey alone. But the quicker we make the hard decisions to walk away from those toxic energies, the quicker we come in alignment with our soul tribe, the people that are in the same vibration as us. And that's enlightening, because, you finally kind of go, thank fuck. Thank fuck this hard work is paying off. Because it does feel, it's scary and it's lonely when you make those hard decisions. And that's the hardest part, I suppose, of taking off that mask, is because you're like, shit, if I walk away from this now, I'm going to be on my own. There's no one else like me. But there is. There's so many like us, but we just have to find them. And a lot of them you're going to find online, because it's rare to even find. It's rare to find people in your environment on the same level. So you're going to find your community through the internet. You are. And Jesus, if you find anyone in your actual physical reality who speaks the same language as you do, and I mean the spiritual language, I don't mean actual language, but speaks the same words you do, who's in alignment with your soul, grab that shit. You know what I mean? Because they're few and far between. And release yourself from that fucking toxic energy. Do you really want to be a part of that group anymore? You don't. You really don't. And this comes to family as well. I had to leave family because of the toxic energy. And it broke my heart, because what do you do? You're not supposed to walk away from family, but this is stuff that you have to do for yourself. And you actually end up becoming the best, purest version of yourself if you shed those barriers around, and that's what these people are. They're barriers between you and your enlightenment. They're barriers between you and your life purpose. They're barriers between you and your truth, you and your authenticity. You know what I mean? And if it's anything like me and you're in an environment where you're still trying to fit in and you're not listening to your soul and your intuition to get away, your body is going to start reacting. Your body is going to start feeling uncomfortable. If you don't listen to your mind and soul, your body is going to react in dis-ease if you continue to be around the wrong energy. It really is. That last time I saw my friends, my tummy was fucked. I couldn't even enjoy myself. And, the minute I came out of that, I the worst headache I had had in I don't know how long, because I felt such dis-ease. Your body is going to react. Your health is going to deteriorate. And that's another thing. Before I walked away from my dad, it took me a long time to even face that. And my health, physical and emotional, was fucked. My mug was shattered. I had no energy left in me. I was ready to give up and fucking die. That's how fucked my energy and my fucking health had gone before I finally listened. Don't let a situation get to that far. Don't let it get that far where you're nearly fucking gone. We're so afraid of losing ourselves to romantic relationships that we're afraid to let love in. But we're losing ourselves to toxic friendships and toxic family members. We're losing our true essence by not being authentic. And I lost myself completely to a relationship, more than one relationship. But I don't know, I didn't feel half as bad as I did when I had to separate myself from family. My health, because, my health was just gone. It was gone. And like, my life force energy was gone. My will to live was gone. My passion, my everything. My life force was gone. If you don't listen to your soul, if you don't listen to that guidance to get out of these situations, your health will deteriorate, because that's like the good apple in the bowl of bad apples. You're eventually going to fucking rot. You're going to become toxic like them, or your health is going to fucking just go to shit. And that's the way it is going to happen. If you continue to stay in these situations, and you know, that's the thing, you continue to, and like, this comes to certain things, like when we evolve as well, we give up certain things like alcohol or drugs or whatever. So you're, you know, the friends that you once were involved with, like, you know, they start to kind of discriminate against you. Like, I was the last person you would have thought to give up alcohol in our group. And, you know, I just felt outcast in a sense. You know, and then I was kind of coerced in a psychological sense to take a shot or a glass of champagne when we were celebrating something. And I didn't really want that glass of champagne or shot. But I did it to still fit in, I suppose. Like, I remember doing a cheers, holding a bottle of water, and one of the people in the group scoffed at me and held back his glass to not cheers with me because I was drinking water. Like I was a fucking leper or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what happens. And we're afraid to, like, say, oh, I don't want to drink, or I don't want to do this, because we're afraid of what they're going to fucking say to us, or discriminate against us, or what the fuck was wrong with you? You're on antibiotics. This is the kind of shit you get. But you're a fucking grown adult. Choose what you want. Don't let other people influence you to go back down to their level. Choose the level you're on. If you're fucking awakening, get the fuck out of that situation. Evolve. You're here for a higher purpose. You're not here to stay in that stagnant energy, that toxic, low vibration energy. That's the same shit over and over and over and over again. That will never fucking change. The same toxic behavior, the same toxic cycles, until you break away from it. There is more to this life. There is more to your life. You're here for a higher purpose, to change humanity, and the healing starts with you. Get yourself out of these toxic environments so that you can be better for yourself and be better for this world. Be better for the next generation. Be better for the people that you're here to help. Because you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it to evolve and then to help the next person to break out of that situation. So listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your fucking soul. Listen to your body. Are you really being your true authentic self? Are you putting on a false persona and a false mask to fit into an environment that is no longer in alignment with you? Ask yourself these questions. Now, you might need to spend some time on your own if you break away from this, or when you break away, when you break away from this, you may have to spend some time alone. But isolation is beautiful for healing. Spend that time in silence. Spend that time alone. Spend that time listening to your own mind and to the guidance from the universe and the angels. And stop listening to the chatter of the outside world. And this goes as well to what you put into your body. So this is substances and what you watch on television. Stop watching that fucking news. Stop watching stuff that makes you feel low vibration energy. And stop feeding your body with food or substances that make you feel like shit. If you're getting a hangover after a fucking session, especially the psychological hangover, stop fucking drinking. This is a warning sign. Are you really happy when you drink anymore? Are you really happy when you take drugs anymore? Are you really happy when you eat that fucking junk food? I don't eat takeaways anymore, and I swear if I probably did, my body would definitely react badly to it. Do you know what I mean? This is what you have to do. Cleanse your environment of the people, the energies, and the fucking substances that are no longer in alignment with you. Get happy on your own. Get happy in your truth and get happy in your authenticity. Be you, be real, and walk away from places and things that make you into something that you're not. Stay pure. Remain the good apple. Do not turn into an asshole. Be you and break away from anything that lowers your vibration and that is trying to pull you back. You're destined for greatness, and it all starts with being aware of how you feel and what you allow into your environment. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.